Hello, my name is Larry Hagan, and I'm here to talk about this Traffic Engineering Fundamentals webinar presented by the University of Florida Technology Transfer Center. Some of the things we cover in this webinar, we talk about congestion, who the road users are, the traffic volume, speed data, and studies. We look at the causes of congestion. It is one of the main things that we as traffic engineers do have to focus on. One of the main things that we have to do is try to eliminate congestion. So we'll look at congestion and things we can do about it. It is a daily reality for many, and we'll spend some time in the course talking about causes of congestion. We also talk about managing freeways, incident detection. For each minute a freeway is blocked, it takes 4 minutes to clear that freeway back up. And so we'll talk about things we can do to clear freeways. And you can see a freeway here and the blockage there. We've all experienced that kind of thing. And so we'll talk about some of the things that we can do to help clear those freeways quicker. Also, we'll talk about ramp metering. That's one of the tools we can use to control the volume allowed onto the freeway, helps keep the freeways moving much more smoothly. That's used in a lot of states. Toll collection using toll speed or high speed and toll by plate type of things. We can keep vehicles moving and not stopped at a toll plaza. So that helps keep the freeways moving quickly. Also talk about managed lanes. We'll look at HOV lanes, HOT lanes, and congestion pricing. As we see on a lot of the busy freeways in our urban areas, we'll talk about those things and how they impact the flow of traffic in our cities. We'll talk about signal control and active arterial management and how, again, we can keep vehicles moving through the use of the intelligent transportation devices and using a real active approach to traffic management. One of the other things we'll talk about is the peak hour factor. It is a very important factor in traffic engineering. It is something that is really certainly needed if you're doing highway capacity analysis. It's really, you're looking at the peak 15-minute flow rate, but if you're doing any type of highway capacity analysis, it's an important factor that many people often overlook. It's something you certainly do need to look at if you're doing highway capacity analysis or in design. Another thing we'll talk about are speed studies, and we'll look at things like the time mean speed, what that is, versus a space mean speed, what the 85th percentile speed is and how to determine it, and what the 10-mile-an-hour pace speed is, and how you determine the percent of vehicles in the pace. We'll also talk a lot about the manual and uniform traffic control devices, the MUTCD, and things like signs that you see or traffic signals. And when we talk about traffic signals, we'll also talk about some of the terminology used, the lingo, if you will, of traffic signals, the cycle, what's the cycle length, what's a phase, what's an interval. We'll talk some about the controller cabinet and the things that you might find in the controller cabinet. We'll also talk briefly, a real basic intro into coordination of signals, and we'll draw time-space diagrams by hand, just so you really understand the concepts of signal coordination and time-space diagrams. And so it's a really simple thing to do, and we'll do it as a part of the course. We'll also talk about markings and how they are a part of the traffic control devices too, how they supplement things like our signals and our signs. And the markings are an overall part of us trying to communicate with the road users. We'll talk about the highway capacity manual, a lot of important stuff in the capacity manual and how to use the capacity manual properly. We'll talk some about roundabouts, and there's a beautiful roundabout there. And so I hope that you will join us for this traffic engineering fundamentals class. I hope you will find it useful and look forward to seeing you in the class. Thank you so much.